and Johnny McWright raised hell about the secrecy, the dishonesty of this whole proposal.
They did.
hopefully they're
They look
still-
like just some readers, but I ain't sure.
Okay. All right. Hey,
Morning.
Mr. Hess, you gonna be up first. As soon as we get everybody in, you're gonna be first.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
That's a mom.
District 4.
That's mom's district.
Ms. Brooks?
Carl, don't forget the glasses.
Okay. All right. We're gonna be on number 6, Ms. Brooks? We're gonna be on number 6?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, did anyone lose their glasses? Lee, could you hold those glasses if you would, please? Anyone misplaced their glasses?
These yours?
Oh. All right, Ms. Reed.
I can make the throw. I don't know if
All
she
right.
can make the catch.
Yeah, we've gone into executive session. We've come out with no action being taken. And we're back into open session right now. And we'll go ahead and get started with Mr. Willie Hess, expressing concerns regarding Ann Drive-In Road. Mr. Hess, would you please?
Yes, sir. Thank you all for the opportunity. I got a problem. My road is towed up. I was here last year, several times. Can we please get something done about it? Like it was a rock road. Can we tell me something?
Yeah. Mark, help me out. Did you all read the overlay Ann Drive-In?
Yes, sir. We tore it up and packed it out, and but we didn't. It needs to be tore back in and redone.
We can
What was the problem? What happened? I mean, because that was a big project.
Well, during the process of overlaying it, we had a big thunderstorm. I believe it rained on us that time. I think the rain had something, the water had something to do with it.
So I guess the concern is the bottom part solid? Do we need to add anything else
We need
to
to add
it?
some base material to it to harden everything up, pack it out.
So I guess the concern is when it was a nice road, and then of course I know it's messed up. So is nothing else additional we need are we missing any steps on the process of overlaying the road?
It needs to be tore up and material added and milled in and let it set out a little bit, let it harden up a little bit.
timeline, Ms. Brooks.
Add a timeline.
When?
To do it right, I mean, we're probably looking at a month and a half from now.
So you get started in a month and a half.
Well, we probably can have it tore up and packed out, but it'd be gravel for a little while. We'll let it self-pack like that, and we'll put it back.
So you understand when he says it's gonna gravel, they'll tear the road up, and they got to set for how long? About
It needs to set 3 or 4 months if possible.
about 3 or 4 months, and then they will come and repave the road, which they've done it in other areas as well. What they're doing, they need to put a stronger base on it, from my understanding, and so they would have to tear it up. It would have to sit for 3 or 4 months, and then they would come and overlay it. Am I correct? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, right now, Mark, the reclaimer is down on Gurdon and 82. And there's another section that may need to be reclaimed. After Gurdon and 82, where is the reclaimer going?
We were talking about taking it to Club 17.
Yeah. That's a short strip there.
It's not very long.
All right, so after Club 17, you can reclaim this week on Gurdon Road, the part I'm gonna show you all today. Club 17, the next 2 days. End of the week or early next week, you should be able to get Ann Drive-In to reclaim it, right?
If the weather permits.
Well, it's gonna be nice. There's a little small percentage chance on Friday. They'll be fine.
First of next week, I can have it reclaimed.
We can reclaim first of next week and add material to it and pack it in.
Got
Right.
some corn.
All right, Mark? Mr. Hess,
Yes, sir.
your supervisor's gonna work with you and make sure this happens. You're gonna tear it up for a minute, gonna be a little gravel for a minute, but we're gonna get that done.
Well, it's gravel now.
It's rutted up and raggedy now.
Yeah, I mean super raggedy.
Okay, so I'm sorry then.
When y'all first overlaid that road, were y'all doing the 4 inches at a time? And that's something that we've changed since then, because APAC told us that's just not a good, that when you lay it, then you do 2 inches, come back and do 2 inches.
Right.
We were laying 4 inches, if I'm understanding that right, and that was just too much at the time, because I had one do it too. Trustwally done the same thing. After it was overlaid, it was just too much. So we need to just make sure that we do it
All right.
like it. Okay.
So you do 2 inches, and
Then
you
come back and do
wait,
2 more,
do 2
yeah,
more.
after it dries, and do 2 more. But we were doing all
All
4
4
at one time. Yes.
See, that's what we were talking. Somebody told me last year.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Okay.
Well, they tore it up since then. Y'all run the reclaimer over it since then? Okay.
All right, well, get it, see if you can, what you can do to go ahead and get them smoothed up, so as best you can. Sorry about that, Mr. Hass.
All right.
We're gonna work with you, appreciate you
I
coming
appreciate
and
Back to see you.
talking with us. Appreciate your service. Tiffany Burnside Incorporated, requesting permission to serve alcoholic beverages at the Washington County Multiplex on March 9th, 2024 for a parent appreciation event. I need a motion.
So
Jerry.
moved.
And a second. I got a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
I got one nay. Supervisor Gordon. Kitchen renovations, Washington County Multiplex building. Jerry, talk to me. Oh.
Is that Ms. Burnside here?
Mr. William Mills.
Is that Ms. Burnside?
Morning.
Here's the kitchen.
Jerry, you seen this? Renzo? No, don't worry about it.
We were down there for,
All right,
pre-bid.
Are these all the same? These all the same? Oh, just one? Okay.
all right. And what are you giving us?
I'm giving you a bid tabulation sheet.
And, go ahead.
Talking about the, generator.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
No,
that's,
no,
that's for you.
give us this right here now.
That's for you, then pass the whole thing. Hold on.
He was gonna do it.
That's-
Yeah.
All right, take us through this tabulation, if you would.
Alright, so we have bids this morning, is what we got. And I have two online right here. I didn't know if y'all received it in person. Y'all did? No? Okay.
Whoa, wait a minute. With bids, where should they go? Mr. Griffin,
They go to.
where you pointing at?
Ms. Hanson.
And you didn't receive them?
She, well, it's all public bids, so they.
What else, electronic bid?
I have some. yeah.
Was it electronic bid?
No, you can bring them, you can FedEx them, or you can electronic bid them.
That's what I said was electronic bid.
But they're not all, but
I know you got two electronic and
All right,
one by paper.
All right,
right.
let me do this. There's a process. Mr. Griffin, where should that process be?
Have the bids been open? Those that came to the clerk's office?
No,
Okay.
you got two electronic.
The electronics can be read in the meeting, okay?
that's right.
As long as a copy is eventually,
I'll email them to her.
okay. You'll email them or provide a hard copy.
She got a hard copy.
Whichever you like.
Okay. Yeah.
Both,
So,
both.
but then it's compliant with the law, as long as the ones that were sent to the clerk's office are available to be opened this morning.
Correct.
Uh,
And I don't think we received any.
You didn't receive any? They're all electronic bids.
The only, I got two
Bids?
electronic bids. Yes, sir.
I do have a proof of publication.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead, Mr. Bridges. If he got them electronically, we can do it.
But the process is to go where?
With respect to electronic bids, he can bring those in today, but, we are, they should have been, downloaded so that they can be brought in here. You can recess while they do that.
Oh, no.
Now you just reading out to her.
Go ahead,
Well,
let's proceed then.
they were due at 9, okay, and so I received them at 9, and they can't be received unless it's before 9.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That's the way it's set up.
Right, and does the publication say they are to be received at 9 and open there,
Prior to 9, yes, sir.
open there?
Yes, at the board meeting.
Okay.
Is that what the publication say, Ms. Holmes?
9 a.m. on Tuesday, February 10th.
Good enough. You good, Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Proceed. Yes, sir.
Our first bid is from, you guys know who it's from.
Can't hear you.
Okay, hang on. Excuse me. Our first bid is from, yeah, it's not working, but anyway, our first bid is from E3 Construction.
Who?
It says E3.
Where is that?
They're out of Boonville, Mississippi.
So it's not on a tabulation sheet?
No, they're not on the sheet.
Okay.
website,
Okay.
so I
Right.
don't know.
And it's called what?
E3 Construction,
Okay.
and they, their bid, their base bid, and that's what it is, it's $325,000, and that's for the kitchen
I
renovation.
need not know.
How much?
325.
325,000.
That's still way too high than
It's-
we had proposed.
It's higher than it was
Yeah.
last
On
time,
Facebook.
but we have another bid, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And they do acknowledge addendum one, which that's all we have. And, they provided it in duplicate and they signed and sealed it. So everything's in order. And then, the second bid,
Oh, you
Yes.
got a bond on?
sir,
Bond, bid bond.
hold on a second. Having trouble. They do not show their bid bond. So we need to note that,
Is that a problem, Mr. Griffin?
yes.
You cannot accept it without the bid bond.
Be clear about that, can't hear you.
You cannot accept the bid without the bid bond.
Right.
So we need to read the bid bond first before you get the number. So what does
No,
that mean for
You can get the number, but you still gotta produce a bid bond. Okay,
That's right.
all right, let's go to the next one.
You gonna give us a number?
I'm
The
confused.
second one,
$225,000, he doesn't have a bid.
I got you, heard you, okay.
the, second one is Timbo's Construction, and they should be listed.
They are.
How much?
Top.
I know it's coming up. All right, let me see about their bid bond. Their
It's
bid
here.
bond is 5% with the Gray Casualty and Surety Company, and it has a power of attorney attached. The, price is $250,000, and
Oh,
they
shoot.
acknowledge addendum one.
What are you looking at?
It is signed and
What
sealed.
are you looking at?
Okay.
How much was you looking at?
Mr. President, you only have one qualified bid.
Right.
Okay. Understand. Everybody, you good? Timbo's Construction, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody understands, we don't have one qualified bid. First bid didn't have a bid bond, is that correct, Mr. Ray?
That's correct.
And the second one, Timbo's has it, which is a low low bid anyway. Need a motion from the floor, from
I'd
the
like to
board.
make a motion, we, turn over for advisement. You wanna go do it? Oh, I move that we move forward with the lowest bid then.
All right, Mr.
This-
Redmond, would you give me a second, please?
This has been the cheapest one yet out of all of them. You know, we had an
Even last
estimated,
time.
we had an estimated cost of 180 on it, I think, originally,
All right.
what it was. So this is the closest one that's gonna get to it. Yeah.
Can I get a second, Mr. Redmond? Second? Yeah, third. That's good enough. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion to accept Timbo Construction as being lowest? Show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Mr. Mills?
Well, we did have another bid today, and I'm not sure if, Ms. Hansel or Ms. Holmes has that advertisement, but it was all done at the same time.
Okay.
What was that on?
It's
It
on
don't matter. Hold up, you all.
restrooms for the
Y'all hold what you got.
Yeah.
Restrooms for the multiplex, and I didn't know if y'all got any bids.
All right, she's not here right now,
Okay.
so
Did
we're
you
gonna have to
receive
keep
any?
moving.
I'm gonna look. I did not open it.
Before you say anything about them, we still have to show proof of publication, right, Mr. Attorney?
Correct.
Can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, since we don't have Ms. Holmes right here to attest to that, Mr. Mills, we're gonna have to keep it moving.
Okay, and I did not receive any, online.
He did not receive any bids online.
We'll check with the clerk. You wanna wait until she comes back
Sure,
in?
that'd be fine.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Let me go to the additions. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Mayor, you here? Would you and Mr. Dave Clark, Mayor Edward Simmons representing the Democratic Party? Dave Clark is representing the Republican Party. We gonna ask y'all to come together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. President?
We
Board?
good, we good.
We want to first begin by thanking you all so much for your service and making sure that the folks in Washington County have a fair and just election. And so Super Tuesday is going to be on March the 12th. And the Democratic and the Republican parties are charged with conducting that election. And we're asking for the county to do what it always has done, to pay those reasonable costs to conduct that election. The estimated cost per party is $40,000. $40,000 for the Democratic Party, and $40,000 for the Republican Party. That's the estimated cost.
Estimated cost, you have a breakdown on these charges?
Yes, sir, we do.
Would you pass that to the board, please?
I got a question.
And Ms. Brooks has a
On
question.
the primary ticket, which race has a race?
Everyone, but we still have to conduct it, so it's gonna be, they're very, they unopposed, some races, I know, the Republican Party has some unopposed races as well, but you got to still conduct. You got to conduct it, we checked with it. Contested and I gotta conduct it.
What were the costs last year, or the last election? Do you remember that?
Around the same, well, around the same cost. Now, we're saying estimated, we think that the cost will be a little lower, but we wanna make sure we overstate costs
Oh, I'm
to
sorry.
get approval. And you can see, with all of the 19 precincts, you got to have, of course, a manager for each precinct, an
Right.
assistant manager for each precinct, a bailiff for each precinct, a ballot clerk, and the book clerks, you'll see where there are two. Those are some of the busiest precincts. So St. James has a larger turnout. Then you also have Wards, which is another larger turnout. Buster Brown is a busy precinct. You can see Mount Bethel, Extension Building, Lake Vista. You have, and these are book clerks, Elks, large, of course, Leland Health, Hollandale. You also have Covenant Convention Center, and also Jake's Chapel. And so these are just estimating what we've done in the past and making sure you have the book clerks, the bailiffs, and everybody need to be there to conduct the election.
I had a question. So in each precinct, because I just got one sheet of paper, are they sharing managers? Is the Democrats and the Republicans sharing managers? Because I only got one sheet of paper.
No, they're not.
So this is for who?
That's for the Democratic Party.
For each.
That's for each party, but we're asking to approve up to 40,000 for each party.
No, I'm just saying I see the names. Like
Mhm.
St. James has one person. I don't see two names for St. James. So
That's right. So that list is a list that we've compiled, and the Democratic Party, Republican Party has a similar list.
Okay,
that
yeah,
they
we
have
just
to
don't have y'all
compile.
list yet.
That's right.
Okay, I got you.
But critically important is the numbers. The
Yeah, I
same
got you.
personnel, same personnel.
I got
Yes, ma'am.
I have,
Yes, sir.
is there any way that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party can share
Managers.
managers and
Assistant
poll workers during?
Well, I would say manager and assistant manager, and that's it.
No, based on the law.
It's,
I don't think
it is set by statute.
Send back staff. I don't think you can do that. We've looked at it,
Well,
Mr. Griffin.
We have the commissioners in the
But
back
aren't they
saying
gonna
no.
use the
Okay,
same
that's
machines?
fine.
Yeah.
But we'll give the commissioner a chance, but we got them at the
But
floor right now.
I can see sharing the managers now. The poll workers, I got you should have one for each party. But with the managers,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
have to
they're
talk
doing the
about
same
Calm down.
job in the same precinct.
And I understand that, but it is a primary, it's not a general election. And so
Okay.
we're duty bound
Yeah,
to
you have
ax,
duplicate everything.
duplicate everything,
That's good.
unfortunately.
Mr. Griffin?
yeah, here's the reason I asked that
Yes,
question.
sir.
I just completed an election challenge in Greenwood,
Yes, sir.
in LaFleur County.
Yes, sir.
And during the primaries, the August last year's primary, they used a single group of workers. They all voted on the same voting machine, okay? So, we may not do it this time, but I think we need to look at it. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, will you be contracting, with the election commission or the circuit clerk? And if so, is that included in the $40,000?
It is.
Yes.
We have contracted with various parties, including the Election Commission, and other individuals, including the L&A tech guy that has to do the machine in his bill. And so we have those contracts, and those contracts most definitely will be provided to Ms. Carter on both sides, Republican and
Our
Democratic Party.
contract is solely with the election commission.
Okay. Are you all anticipating a large turnout or a small turnout?
Small on the Democrat side.
Let me hear from them.
I would think because it's, you know, presidential primary, that it's, would be a fair turnout.
Okay.
The Republican Party.
Okay.
Y'all gotta
Hey,
read.
let me ask both of you this question. I know the Republican Party here in Washington County and the Democratic Party here in Washington County, I always see these fundraisers, and I know you all do what you can to raise funds. Why are you here asking the county, and are we required by statute to pay?
Yeah,
Why aren't,
it's required by statute to pay. I
let me
read
let their
that.
other attorney
I
answer.
know, but I went to the training.
Mr. Green?
And we all go to training, we all know.
The law said the county is responsible for these elections.
And $40,000 is a huge amount of money for a low turnout election.
It's a
I
presidential
just-
election,
For a low turnout
but it's still a
election.
presidential election.
But, you know, my concern is, you know, the amount of money that you all make on the request, and through this request, and how much money is being paid for these positions. But I hear you and understand what you're asking for. Any other questions?
So moved.
I got a motion.
Second.
And a second. There are no questions. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good
Thank you so much.
luck.
Thank you.
Ms. Oliver. Oh. Ms. Oliver, hold up for a second. Ms. Holmes, I have a question about proof of publications for an additional how many did you have? Just the
Bathrooms.
one? Proof of publication? All right, tell us what you got, Ms. Holmes. What
Is
you
that
want
on the
to see?
bathrooms? Is that on the bathrooms? Okay. All right.
I think you wanna know if you got the bid.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that part, but
Did you get any bids on the bathroom? She has proof of publication, Ms. Holmes. Do you have any bids? Any bids turned in to you?
Restroom,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Did you have any bids come in?
did you get any bid?
no.
Okay.
We didn't get any.
All right, what's
Uh,
pleasure?
We need to re-advertise.
You can request to re-advertise, authorize re-advertising.
So moved.
And a second. Got a motion and a second to re-advertise. Do we need to make any adjustments in the plans or, you know, the request?
We talked about,
And I think that's what the discretion if that need to be, then the architect would make that recommendation, if there need to be an adjustment.
well, and the owner kinda has to participate in the fact that they have to tell us what they don't wanna do. If there's something in there that we
That you can take out,
have,
eliminate?
that we could take out. That's all
At this point in
would say.
time, I don't think so.
And I know y'all approved, I think, up to 300 for it. And-
Okay, we just
and
need to do,
I
let's
think
give
we
it one
just
more
need to
shot.
Give it one more shot, and
Let's do
we're gonna
that.
contact more people
All
about
right.
it and see. I know,
All right.
I texted with, Timbo and told them about their bid on the other one, and they said that they didn't realize the other one was out, so they didn't bid it, but I said, well, I've talked to you about it 3 times, so I don't know why you didn't know.
Okay,
Did you send it to all these contractors you got on this list?
They are the ones that have plans on our website.
Okay.
all right.
Anyway, and we had bids from one of those also last time, but he didn't bid it this time.
Okay.
So,
I've got a motion and a second to re-advertise. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
one last thing, next Monday, the 26th, I believe, we're doing the final walkthrough at, Chambers Gym.
At what time?
I believe it's 10.
At 10 o'clock in the morning?
I believe.
Man.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. We could do it at 8 if you'd rather.
All right,
Thank y'all.
all right, appreciate it. Ms. Oliver? How you doing?
Thank y'all for adding me to the agenda. I did, call about 3 weeks ago for Ms. Holmes and got some child or somebody, and I called in 3 times and thought I was on the agenda, so I'm sorry about that.
Not a big deal.
All right, I'll pass those around. I have Mr. Drift's one in there too. I'm not doing all of this. I've got several people with me today. There's Ann
Well, where-
Cortese from ARP
Where it is.
and Kendrick Proctor from South Washington County. He represents Mutt Madness. And we've got Victor Kenyon, who's also been helping. And we're facing an epidemic in our county. I know y'all ride around all the time. Everybody does their job, and you see all the overabundance of at-large animals in the county. I wasn't aware till Ms. Holmes told me today that we could not bring in revisions to the ordinance. The ordinance is excellent. It's just not being enforced. And so, the largest majority of animals that we're having in the county is pits and pit mixes. Out at Elizabeth, we've probably got 40, and at any given time, they're out and running and chasing, and they've killed about 5 dogs in the last few months, and people's pets in their own yards. It's just kind of gotten out of control. I guess one of our suggestions is maybe somebody in the county who does nothing but animal control and write citations. I know you'll probably mention Truman. He's in Leland and he covers the whole county. He's the sweetest person. I talk to him almost every day. He has never issued a citation. We need somebody out there. These pits need to be registered. As Kendrick mentioned, they need to be microchipped where you can trace one dog back to who the owner actually is. I doubt we've got any that are being registered per the ordinance. We also are interested, and that would mean the county would probably, we're suggesting a 5-day holding period, which I believe is a state law, before the county does whatever they feel like they need to. Kendrick will tell you, how many dogs do you have?
Don't like to admit,
It's way over 100, which,
I have personally had at least 80 dogs I'm taking care of every day.
but he is part of Mutt Madness, so under the ordinance in the 501c3, he's allowed to have those. He pays out of his pocket for feeding them and taking care of them. They've all been fully vetted. They've been spayed, neutered, up to date on their shots. I mean, that's huge. But I think it is a full-time job for somebody. And we also need to get spay and neuter. I know that Mississippi State will come and do it if one of y'all, if you had a committee or if somebody would come in here and go and contact them. I have some of the doctors' names at Mississippi State, but that, it's $200 to get them spayed and neutered. Most families just can't afford that.
All right. Mr. Griffin,
Yes,
what's your experience, what's your knowledge of this ordinance?
well,
Did you author this?
I did. Back in the day, and at that time, it was my opinion, and it's still my opinion, that the fine scale was extremely low and too low to cover the cost of what the ordinance provided for. And there need to be substantial adjustments in the amount. Secondly, at one point, the county was doing some stuff. With
Some what?
respect- The county had its own operation, I believe it, 30 years ago. But the county then decided to yield to locals, municipalities, especially Leland. Greenville had its operation going on in town. And Greenville, I don't think Greenville doing it anymore. are they?
They're doing a little bit, because if they get complaints about somebody's got too many animals in their
But-
house or on their
All right.
property.
But Greenville had an effective animal control system.
All right.
So the county needed one, we did one, the fine system was too low. Quite frankly, this board may need to look at establishing its own animal control operation
Okay.
in order to make it effective.
And I did go down to the planning committee while y'all were in the meeting, or to the lady down there, Roy's out of town, and did give her a copy of this. He is on the planning,
Copy of,
the ordinance with the suggested,
with your
yes, that
recommendation.
y'all have in your
Right.
folder. I did email and text everybody, and text and emailed some
I'm
board
over, okay.
members.
Okay. Thank you for y'all taking the time just to go through this ordinance. I think it's very much needed. I did speak with the mayor today. The city of Leland made a request that the county go have on them, with them to pay for the animal officer.
Animal control officer.
But the attorney came back and told us we could not do it with some type of attorney, with an attorney general opinion. At this point, the city of Leland, the mayor was very clear, they cannot continue to pick up dogs on behalf of the county for free. I mean, they've been doing it for years, all they wanted to go have. The county chose not to do it, so the city is asking that you get your own person, because they just can't continue to use all their fuel, their manpower to go out to Hollandale, Arcola, Metcalf, all of the county at the city of Leland's expense. They just can't afford it anymore, when only they asked for half pay. And they also, the mayor also recommended that the county get its own animal shelter, because the city is overloaded. Again, they're not getting the money from the county to help cover other municipalities on behalf of Washington County.
Lee- Oh,
Yeah.
Lee?
I agree with that. I'm familiar with a lot of, with some of this stuff, and I tell you, you don't realize what these organizations do. I don't know how many, it's 2 or 3 different ones, and I visited Kendrick's place out there, and he's built a beautiful place and lots of dogs to do that. I mean, just hundreds and hundreds of dogs that y'all, got and adopted.
And sometimes it's 20 or 30 a week.
Yeah, well, that's, so my point is, this is what I would think. This is what I would think moving forward. Number one, it needs to be, we need an advisory committee to work with this. I agree 100%. We need to get with the sheriff. We need to get with the sheriff. We need to have our own facility out there where we got our new building that we're working on, the roof and everything. That's a possibility to build something out there. You got a lot of land out there that we have. That's a possibility. We need to get the sheriff involved. We need to hire a full-time person, and there needs to be a building constructor. That's the only way. And like you say, start distributing the fines, start, patrolling this, because again, just the deputies are not prepared to go, because, I've had to call them myself at times, and they're not prepared to go out, and handle that.
Right.
So I think at this point, moving forward, that needs to be, again, for them to have an advisory committee and have somebody on this board, 2 people, that they can let them know when they meet, and we can be a part of that. But this is something that needs to happen fairly quickly, and the sheriff's department be involved in it, seeing how we move forward with this and settling this, because it's a huge problem. When me and my wife ride our bikes, I carry a pistol. And just because, I've just seen, it's been some close encounters, and and over the years, there's been several people that's, been attacked.
We had
So,
the man in Leland that had to jump off a bridge
Yeah.
to escape them, and a pony was killed last Thursday by aggressive German shepherds, owned by the same person.
All right. Mr.
At
Griffin.
this point, I think.
Let me do this real quick.
I'd like to make
I'm
a
gonna
comment.
come to you.
Thank
But
you.
everybody can't speak at the same time.
You are correct.
All right, Ms. Brooks, I'm gonna come to you.
Thank
We're
you,
gonna be
Karen.
respectful.
I think at this meeting, we really need to go and put
Excuse
some
me, Ms.
dollars.
Ribbon. Oh, I thought Ms. Ribbon wanted the floor. Go ahead.
When she finished, I'm gonna tell what experience I had.
Hollandale's horrible.
All right. All right.
At this meeting, I think we really do need to go ahead and put create a line item for a animal humane officer, because again, I mean, the mayor was very clear. The county need to go ahead and hire somebody at this time, because the city of Leland, Mr. Truman just can't continue to do the work for the county and all these other municipalities. And all they only wanted was $15,000, and the county didn't want to pay it, so.
And I put
it's
some
time to get
specs
That's all.
in there for them.
You've got to hold up,
Yeah.
Mr. Ribbon.
Well, all I was gonna say, it's a resident in Elizabeth.
Yes.
They got 50, 60, these dogs would fight, whatever, pit bulls. Running loose, some of them with chains, some of them so big they break a chain. And I drove by and saw, and then one was on the board, had more puppies, and something has to be done, 'cause dangerous out there, and I was gonna talk to her, she said she went by that house. It's in the living.
People are afraid to leave their homes.
I knew it, I was scared to drive by there.
They will attack your vehicle.
Ms. Oliver.
That's a problem that we need to do something.
All right, you good? Let me, Mr. Griffin, when you authored this particular, piece of, I'm gonna call it legislation then,
Animal control
this,
ordinance.
this ordinance, what was the intent with enforcement?
Well, we had received numerous complaints about pit bulls.
All right, what was the intent with enforcement, Ms. Griffin?
Enforcement,
They did.
in the absence of an animal control officer, working county-wide or multiple officers, you know, Whatcom County is a pretty large county, all right? So, the intent was to have the sheriff, if they see dogs, I think the explanation was then, when this ordinance was adopted, the sheriff, department indicated that they would, try and, control animals if they got complaints or if, they observe dangerous, our dogs with the propensity, to be dangerous, walking around loosely, all right? So, but we had received complaints about these pit bulls, and so the county specifically wanted to regulate, pit bulls and how they were to be maintained, and to require bonds. That ordinance provide for bonds and insurance for those who have pit bulls.
Okay, talk
But
to me
if you're
about,
not
about
enforcing it, it
enforcement,
don't
Mr.
mean
Griffin.
nothing.
Well, enforcement is the duty and responsibility of this board of supervisors.
And that was the intent when you wrote this, that supervisors go out and enforce
No,
the
sir, you
ordinance.
don't, no, that you retain or employ employees.
And that's in the order, okay, that was the
Right here,
intent.
it didn't say any,
That-
but it don't really, but it says law enforcement,
Okay.
but I think we need to seriously go ahead on and put in a line item for her main,
Animal
officer.
control officer.
All right, what we need to do.
Because right here, it is sheriff all through here
All right.
and law enforcement.
All right,
Yes.
first we need to identify, go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, I would just make a motion that the finance committee meet, find a line, or create a line item, find some money, move forward along with the sheriff's department, because that would fall under the sheriff's department. And moving forward and get the sheriff's input on this also.
Second.
And that's what we need to do, but it definitely needs to be, addressed immediately.
I got a motion and I got a second. Any other questions?
You ain't got, did
Let
you
me-
get a second?
I thought you made the motion.
I
got
did.
it.
Okay.
All right, second.
Yeah.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions? You know, good finance committee, you get together to discuss this, but what comes to my mind is you've got to have a facility. You got to be able to manage animals. You just can't hire a person and
That's
have
right.
nothing for them to do.
Exactly.
You've got to make sure there's a training process in place and equipment necessary to be effective with this, so it's,
Well, the 5-day holding period may help.
hold on a minute. All right, Ms. Oliver. All right, I got a motion and a second. Any other questions? Ms. Oliver, you good? Mr. Pinion, you good? Mr. Pinion, you good?
I'm good. I wanted to say one
Give us your
thing
full,
about-
give us your full name, please.
My name is Victor Pinion. I'm from Greenville, Mississippi. I graduated from Greenville High in '73.
Go Green Line.
My biggest thing about the dogs, I foster, I know I maybe fostered 500 in my house on Lake Lee, but my biggest thing is the dogs laying dead in the road where our kids are seeing it. That's the biggest thing that hurts my soul, is our young kids are seeing dead animals laying on the road every day. I can count 10 from Lake Lee Road to my business on Highway 1 South. So that's my biggest thing, is someone needs to get these dead animals off the road. And I know that's, but I hate our kids seeing that,
Okay.
because I want our kids to be healthy, and I appreciate what y'all are doing. Thank you.
All right, but when you got issues with animals, to any citizens across the county, give a call to your supervisor, and we'll contact our road department and have our road department take care of that. Anytime you see a dead animal on the right-of-way, in the road, county roads, or in the county, contact the road department. and they'll take care of it. All right. Mr. Walker? You good? Mr. Walker?
Thank y'all.
C.W. Walker?
No, he's gone.
Okay. What else did we add to the,
I spoke.
what else we added to the agenda? What else was added to the agenda?
Could I add one
Oh,
other
yeah,
thing?
please.
Gayla, if y'all would, if y'all do have meetings and stuff and reach out to the board member, you know, and give us, you know, invitation, that way we can kind of know what's going on and stay in touch and communications with y'all. And that way, I mean, one of us might make it or somebody, you know, somebody will try to come, you know, but just to see what's kind of going on and stay in contact and communications with them.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm Ann Fertizzi
Hey, Ms. Patizzi, how you doing?
with, with ARF. I've worked with the dogs in Leland for 26 years, and we've had, I mean, it's just gone wild. We have an overabundance, more than Truman can handle, more than we can handle, even more than all of us together can handle. I think spay neuter, Lee, I don't know whether you mentioned this to Gayla, looking for a grant to help people spay and neuter. I don't know whether you said that or not, but I don't know whether the county has access to some grants that maybe we don't, which I think would be excellent. And so spay neuter is so huge, and also enforcement of the ordinances, because they are not being enforced at all. And I think it's gonna take animal control and an officer to enforce these ordinances. I don't think just the animal control officer by himself is gonna be able to do it. So I think that's a big thing. Also, I would recommend, and I'm also gonna recommend this to Kenny for Truman, whoever is hired needs to take an animal control officer training course, whether it is in person or whether it is online, to give them full knowledge of what they can do, what they need to be doing. Because, you know, if you're the animal control officer and you don't do anything, you're no good to anybody and everybody's laughing at you. So anyway, that's just something that I would suggest. But yes, we will form a committee, with all of us and see if we can get with y'all and.
I have a question, the spayed and neutered, what's the price of something like that?
Well, for our cost, I mean, I know what it is for us, but I mean, for the normal person, I mean, it can be over $200 for a spay. Depends on the size of the dog. Neuter can be $150. You know, it's less for a neuter, but it is expensive. And people, you know, they wanna have dogs because they love dogs, but they just can't afford it. Now, what we do is, we help people spay and neuter as best we can when we have the money. If somebody calls us about a litter of puppies that their mama dog has had, we will take the puppies, but we always make sure that we get the mama spayed.
Right.
Now, we ask them to pay like a $20 copay just to do that. But, we are not able to provide money for all the spays and neuters that need to happen. And, you know, I guess the spays are more important, but the neuters are also important.
All right.
So, anyway, thank you.
One other question I got about the dogs in Elizabeth. Did they ever get the dogs in Elizabeth, the
No.
bad dogs?
No.
What do we need to do to get them?
I think he might have been giving some of them away. He tries to keep them inside his house, but he left the door open one morning when he went to work, and they were all over Elizabeth in the horse pasture. And like I said, in the south end of the county, they killed a horse last week. So, I mean, it can happen, it can be a child. And I'm concerned for the children and people out in Elizabeth. And, as far as I know, no one's done anything but give him 2 copies of the ordinance.
So, actually, that is a concern, and I'm looking at ordinance, and it says the sheriff department at this point. We need to have the sheriff department to go out there, because we got pit bulls running around a small community like that, and the kids are playing. You know, that's detrimental to our community. I'm glad you brought it to our attention, but now we need to address the concern, because it is in the county. And what do you advise us to do, Attorney
Well,
Griffin?
let me just say this, and when we adopted this ordinance some 20 years or so ago, it was then and remain now an unfunded mandate on this board of supervisors. Nothing was put in place to ensure that we had an effective, efficient, and expedient process in place. It's incumbent on this board of supervisors to provide the sheriff department the necessary resources to ensure that we, one, have the employees, two, that we have the type of fine process in place. For instance, the city of Greenville, back in the day, and I know it's true because one of my dogs was arrested got out and was arrested by the city of Greenville. I had to pay $50 to get my dog back. Okay, $50.
Get him out of jail.
Yes, sir. So, that was a good process. And that is much needed throughout this county. Now, with respect to these pit bulls, if what I'm hearing is true, then we got an obligation to enforce our ordinance that we have on the books and identify who the owners are, if we can, and to require them to comply with the law. For instance, an ordinance provides a certain fence with certain size concrete, with expanded out, and they are required. That chain that I heard Mr. Redmond talked about, that's not included in the order. They required to maintain those pit bulls behind that cyclone fence. Now,
can I
so
ask a
I'm
question?
saying, we got a duty, and we need to step up to the plate to take care of it.
Please, Ms.
Okay, I want to ask, Pastor,
Benson.
Barber. Pastor Barber, what can we done to help this? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to fall back on the sheriff department. What could y'all do to help address the issue in Elizabeth? Because in the ordinance, it does say the sheriff department.
The sheriff department, if they're called to these calls, they have what we call a statute book. And if any event, if they're in violation, they could issue them a citation.
Or could somebody go out there and go check on it officially? Because I did hear about the dogs running
Well,
around. And then we got a report from our
I'm
official.
sitting here, I pretty much heard everything that was said.
Okay.
I have not received a phone call, not to say that all calls have to come to me, but, we will work on it.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Also Ellen Douglas.
All right. Anything else on this particular matter? We had a motion to proceed or something, no, we didn't. But the finance committee, you all get together and understand where we're going, right?
Yep.
Excuse me,
Hey, now.
the sheriff said that he sent one of the majors out there to deal with some dogs last week, so
Okay.
And Elizabeth,
that is.
All right. All right. If there's nothing else on this particular matter, we'll move on. As I look through the audience, Mark, you want to see us? Mark Johnson, Road Department.
Morning. I have a few things. During the budget section, I got approved we was gonna get a dozer, a bulldozer. I wanted to, get the board approved to start to advertise for it.
All right. Equipment committee.
That was in the original, budget for this year, the dozer, it was already in the
So
budget.
moved.
Yeah. Second.
I got a motion and a
Also-
second.
For
All
the
in favor, show by
advertising.
sign of aye.
Yeah, the
To
advertising.
advertise.
Yeah, to move forward. I got it. All right. That's motion carries.
Also, the dump trucks that we talked about during the budget,
Mhm.
I would like to get an advertisement, approval for advertising on that also,
Okay.
so,
for them.
Yeah.
point of information.
Huh?
Come on.
Talking, are we going to look at the park? Because, we had one company come and talk to us about, what's the process? I really like that process. We buy them and then, it's not even a buyback. What am I gonna call it now?
The guaranteed.
I'm not gonna say a buyback, but I like that piece. Are we looking to go that route?
Yes.
You talking about the young lady that come up here was telling us
Yes,
about
I
that?
love that.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
like a no-brainer on that one.
Even, that's Kenworth, and even Mac does the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Whoever
okay.
gets it,
All right.
they'll
But you,
do a 2 or 3 year buyback.
Well, it's really not even a buyback.
Yeah, they guarantee it too on a
Yeah.
certain amount of
all right.
hours and stuff.
Equipment committee, what's the recommendation?
Yeah, we put that in the budget also,
right.
wasn't it, on the dump truck? Because I think they're about 6 years old now, 6 or 7 years old.
Motion?
So moved for the advertisement on the dump.
Got a motion and a second? If there are no other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So another question, I don't know, are y'all gonna just do a buyback with those, or y'all gonna keep the current trucks? If y'all 6 years in, I mean, y'all probably past the buyback.
I really wanted to try to get 6 during the budget, but we didn't have the money for it, so I would like to keep 2 of the best ones we have and sell the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they do help in between if the truck goes down
Yeah.
or something.
Okay.
It does help a lot.
What else you got?
Also during the budget, I got approved to buy a skid steer. And we were gonna buy.
We call it a Bobcat. Y'all know it as a Bobcat.
Yeah.
Good skid steer.
What's wrong with the one you got?
They don't have one. That's the building grounds.
Trust me, it's always at the road department.
Right,
Yeah.
and I'm making a motion that they buy one and give it to building ground.
Well, let me do this, and, you know, when you have a piece of equipment, you want the most skilled person to actually operate it. Not from a safety perspective as well as to maintain the equipment. Okay? You want the best, you want the most skilled person on it. You have to be very careful where you assign certain types of equipment and how it's utilized or not utilized. The majority of the time, the majority of use for it is in the road department, I think. Am I wrong, Mark? I'm wrong.
No, you're right. We use it more than they do.
So, you know, if you put it over there, it may just sit. But what's the pleasure of the board?
So what you're saying is for them to take control of that one and just keep it and let the.
When
But you know, the only thing on that, they could do more with that in the parks, because, you know, out at Warfield, there's always something needs to be done, and even down at Paul Love, they need to get it down there to do some work. It's not that they don't do a lot with it, they're just not doing a lot with it, you know?
They need one, because every time I look at that, when they're working on it,
They're
send
always
somebody
calling.
in here to work on it. The guy was working
Yeah.
on it yesterday, or day before yesterday.
I think there's a need for them to have their own, and it is in the budget, we did put it in the budget, correct,
Thank you, Mark.
Charlisa?
And your motion?
So moved.
And a second.
We
Yeah,
already,
Supervisor Benson. No other questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
what I was gonna say is, we're gonna buy it through Sourcewell, it's like a state contract number and everything, so we can buy it straight out.
Y'all talk to.
Why y'all doing,
What's
I
your
mean,
recommendation?
state contract, that ain't the best way. We wanna get the cheapest
Yeah,
price.
well, they are the cheapest.
State contract is not the cheapest, but if y'all wanna go that route, you can. You wanna be competitive.
What's the recommendation? Equipment committee?
You wanna do a reverse
You already got
auction.
the first and second.
He's talking about something else.
No, he's talking about
That's
just,
the skid steer.
we still talking about the skid steer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation? What's your plan to purchase?
Well, of course, we
What's
want
your
the cheapest we can get it, I mean, for sure,
All right.
whatever, you know, whether it's state contract or whatever it is, you know, we wanna make sure that we get,
Original quotes I got on a Cat and a John Deere were like $12,000 more than this one.
yeah.
On a quote. Now, no state contract, the bid process, sometimes you get it cheaper, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
The
Alright.
first time we bought those garbage trucks, I actually had a quote for $15,000 cheaper than what they did on
Okay.
bid.
All right.
Okay.
What y'all recommend to the board now?
I'd just go with state contract on,
You have to do that.
you good with that?
But I'll leave it up to y'all.
Yeah. So move, go forward on state contract. You good with that?
That mean you second? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. I got one name, Ms. Brooks. Anything else, Ms. Jones?
That's all.
Amen. Appreciate you. Who else did we miss?
Ms. Holmes.
Hey, Mr. Smith, there you go. Mr. Smith, Andrew Smith, would you? Man, I was about to move on to something else. I'm sorry about that. Throw a finger up or do something. Hey.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I have a
Morning.
few things for the agenda,
What is that?
for your consideration this morning. I think you all should have already got it. I didn't really add anything. The only thing that's added is to receive and take under advisement the proposals that were received
What's my recommendation?
prior to yesterday at 9 o'clock.
What's our recommendation?
Prior to yesterday at 9 o'clock. There were three, I believe. I see one from IMS Engineering. Ms. Holmes, if you would read the others out.
We don't interfere with this.
That were received.
Why you interfere with this? All right, I'm so sorry, Mr. Smith. Everybody understand?
What is it on now?
You all voted to advertise for engineering services related to state and federal projects.
Gotcha.
And they have come in.
Okay.
And I'm asking that you all would receive those and take them under advisement.
So
What's
move.
Those, hold up, why would we take it under advisement? I got a motion and a second to take under advisement. Why would we do that?
Because you all need to review them and then rate them.
Right.
unless you all.
How many did
vote.
you get?
I see, there are two right
Whoa.
there, there are three.
Where you want me? They go to the other part. Okay.
If she
I got a
could just-
motion and a second.
If she would just read off from the envelopes who submitted of what the submittals are, and go from, and just take them under advisement, and perhaps at the next board meeting, after you all will have had an opportunity to review it, you
I-
will then rate them.
Gotcha.
RFQ Engineering Services, State and Federal Program, Hooker Engineering, submitted 2/16/2024.
Okay.
That's two different grants, so this is the raise grant. This is something different, so don't let me confuse.
This is something different, this is not raised grant.
Okay, so
Well, this is this one.
this is different.
We got, so you telling me we got one?
Which one are you dealing with, the raise grant
We
No.
dealing with the
or engineering service?
Right.
engineering
Only had one
services, right?
bid.
You have a RFQ with one bid for engineering service.
I'm sitting here looking at one that says.
That's for something
I-
else.
RFQ Engineering Services, State and Federal Program, on this box right here.
Right there, they got
What is
IMS
that?
on it.
This one here was submitted to the sheriff's department, so I wasn't aware of it,
Okay,
okay? So this one is,
Submit it to the sheriff's
We
department?
were closed Monday.
yes, sir.
Oh.
Mr. Lawson, the date was the 19th, and the county was closed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay,
I'm not sure who gave the directive, but this was turned in to the sheriff's department.
okay.
It was
I
turned to,
asked the
Yeah,
engineer
that's appropriate.
this morning when he brought it to me, to give me, I had nothing but
Okay.
accept.
Yeah, it was turned in according to
Gotcha.
the,
Submitted to me,
Yeah.
From his phone, that a dispatcher received it on the 18th.
Yeah.
So I'm not really aware of, that's not the procedures, but
Yeah,
well, you know, the county was closed
Since the
yesterday.
county
Maybe-
was
Maybe that's
closed
why
on
they did it
yesterday-
that
the
way.
ad said the 19th, Supervisor Brooks.
No, I just say
And-
that's why they probably did it like that.
In that event, the date on here is the 18th,
which is fine.
So they turned in a day
which
early.
is Sunday.
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm supposed to attach this to this.
Okay.
So that is
Yes,
that is an application that's
At the
being
end of the
submitted.
day, I have no clue because I can't see who submitted it.
On the back of the box it say IMS.
I'm sorry.
On the back of that box it says IMS engineering.
As I said, these were brought in this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
IMS engineering. Okay.
make a motion that we take them under
So
advisement.
we only
and be ready
received
for
two?
Two. But yeah, take them under advisement.
All right, the question is, Ms. Holmes, for this particular issue, we only received two bids, correct?
That's correct.
That's
Okay.
correct. The recommendation is we take it under
I thought
advisement.
there were
We got two. And you have recommended we take them under advisement, and the reason for taking under advisement is,
I
But
don't
you
know.
all have to rate them,
I got a
Enough.
question. Why do you think we had three?
because the sheriff's department also received one from Wagner Engineering.
Okay, where is that one in? That's three then.
no.
So that's three.
There's three.
IMS engineer and Hooker engineer.
And then she said you received one from Wagner
This
also.
is another one. This is a whole different,
She said Wagner Engineering.
I'm sorry.
Wagner Engineering. She said she gave you something from Wagner Engineering.
All right.
Well, Mr. McGee, just
All
so
right,
for the
no,
second.
we're gonna move forward. We're gonna take them under advisement. We have three. Ms. Griffin, we have three. And the motion is to take them under advisement, okay?
So moved.
I got a
To
motion
take
and a second.
three engineer
Outstanding.
packets
And this one
under
here.
advisement from Hooker, IMS, and Wagner Engineering. This is my motion.
All right,
Three.
all right, we good. Wait a minute, let me do this here.
I think.
We got a motion on the
we're gonna
floor.
take them under advisement.
That's what we doing, Mr. Grimm. I'm just
We
trying to
need
carry
do
the
more
motion.
than that, Mr. McGee.
What else we need to do?
We need to take them under advisement.
All right.
And board members need to evaluate them and rate them and report back on a date certain.
All right.
It's gonna be at the next meeting or whatever.
It'll be the next meeting.
My recommendation is that you would take them under advisement. Everybody gets a copy of whatever the contents are, and I will provide the rating forms,
Good enough.
for you all to provide that at the next meeting.
Any other questions?
Yes, that needs to be the motion.
All right, that is the motion.
That was
All in
that was
favor?
my motion.
All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all so very much. The first item under the regular opera update, opera agenda is the Elks Lodge. It's an order authorizing reimbursement to the Elks Lodge on Shelby Street in Greenville in the amount of $20,000 for work completed in compliance with the subrecipient agreement, HVAC replacement and filtering system to clean air and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
All right, everybody understand? I got a motion, I got a motion, and I got a second, Supervisor Redmond. Mr. Smith, you're asking us to approve this. Is there a detailed, itemized list of the project so we know exactly what we're voting on?
This is, Ms. Carter has the original receipts where they actually paid. You can pass this around, Ms. Gordon. The total cost of that particular project, I believe, was $20,000.
All right,
And
I see a check.
they paid out $20,356.75. Their allocation was only $20,000 from you guys, so they spent $375,000 with $356.75 of their own money to complete the project. But the board allocated $20,000 for them.
Any questions? If not, I think got a motion on the floor. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
That's 2 nays. Motion carries.
Glen Allen Utility District, order authorizing payment for work completed in compliance with contract with Hemp Hill Construction Company in the amount of $118,700. And you all are making this payment because the county actually executed the contract on behalf of Glen Allen Utility District.
Mr. Smith, is there a request for payment that has to be exercised by the engineer?
It is. Ms. Carter has the original copies.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any other questions? Ms. Griffin,
The same thing.
you good? Ms. Griffin?
Yeah, the same.
Everybody good?
Yes, she needs one.
She got one. She got one. Everybody good? All in favor of the motion? Go show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous, Mr. Smith.
Okay. Item number 3, City of Hollandale, got 2 requests here. Order requesting assistance in the amount of $20,000 to repair the library roof. And Mrs. Helen Johnson, a member of the council, is here and would like to address you all regarding this request. But this is a copy of the letter from the city.
All right, this is for repairs that they're going to do or they've done already. They want reimbursements. How,
They
what's,
would like to do it.
or they have to do these?
Yes.
And what the process is normally, hey, Ms. Johnson. Go ahead, Ms.
Good
Johnson.
morning. I'm Helen Johnson, the newest elected official for the city of Hollandale. And before I get started asking for funding, I just want to say thank you to the entire board and especially our supervisor for all that you all do to support our community. Of course, you know we are a resource-challenged community, and our library has been closed since 2020. And it's very important that we get it back up and running. Right now, the city does not have the funds to do that, so we're requesting that you all assist us, please.
I have a question.
Yes.
Y'all hospital is not a county hospital? I mean, y'all library is not a county library?
Our library is, I
Yes.
guess is directed by the county, but of course, we own the building.
Okay, I got it.
And I'm just making that motion because it's very important. My kids down there don't have, access to,
Computers.
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 And, we have those computers at the
I seconded his motion.
Any other questions? These are opera funds, and they'll come. You good, Ms. Ritter? I got a motion and a second. No other questions. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Ms. Johnson,
Thank you.
good
Thank
luck
you
to
very
you.
much.
And Ms.
And,
Johnson,
and-
congratulations, I didn't realize you was the
Thank
new
you.
alderwoman.
Yes, as of November 7th.
I just remember you as the city clerk.
All right.
Yes, ma'am, congratulations again.
Thanks, dear.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
there's another thing, I just want to mention it briefly. Of course, as I said before, we are a resource-challenged community, and we are in dire need of economic development. So if there's anything that may come through that mentions small communities, please include Hollandale. We have some buildings, I think, that we could talk to some of the owners, kind of discuss some things with them, maybe tax breaks or something, but we do need economic development. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Number 3B, I would need you all to approve an order authorizing and approving an additional $20,000 to the City of Hollandale subrecipient grant agreement for downtown improvements, and it will increase that from $50,000 to $70,000.
Jerry?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Questions?
Not, Jerry still has the funds for all this,
I know.
Andrew said so.
All right, if there are no questions? If there are no questions? Oh, all in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I do have a,
Hey, come on, Ms. Brooks.
You said it's from 50,000
To
to 70,000?
Yes.
That's 2,000 more dollars.
20,000.
I
20.
mean 20, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But you said 30, he would need 30,000.
Oh, good.
No.
That's good.
The,
We first were,
Come on.
we first was trying to
Okay.
figure out 150,000
Okay.
I have a question.
Come on, Ms. Brooks.
I thought it was the quote that the town has received for the library improvements was about $19,000.
Okay.
So the $20,000 is what they requested in the letter.
Okay.
So, but we've got to modify their subrecipient agreement, and that's what 3B does.
Okay.
Mr. Smith, I got a question. So if we need to get some more tractors, can we use opera dollars to purchase tractors?
Let me get back with you on that.
Okay. 'Cause I normally need some in District 4.
Okay.
I know we're not deep, I just know we just need some in the northern part of the county. I know we're not deep, but I know we need additional tractors in the northern part of the county, cause I wanna make sure that all the grass is cut in a fair enough time versus overkill grass. No, I'm dead serious.
Item number
Yeah,
4,
District
Chambers
4.
Middle School update,
Number
project
4.
update. The water and sewer connection should be complete this week. And then they're gonna clean the building this week, and we're looking at a final walkthrough of Chambers Middle School next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, and I'll get you the time, I think it's scheduled for 10 o'clock. But
Okay.
all of y'all are welcome to meet us there at 10.
Are you familiar with next Monday or Tuesday
10 o'clock.
at 10 o'clock? That's what,
The walkthrough, yeah.
yeah, that's what McCall said.
Oh,
Architect was saying that
okay,
next
good
week,
deal.
but yeah.
All right, I thought it was Wednesday, but you said it's Monday?
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see you all Monday. Welcome Center, Old Hollandale Health Department, and property acquisition from the state of Mississippi, that's Mr. Griffin. Reminder of the Black History Month program on Sunday at 3 o'clock in Hollandale. So I don't know where items 5 and 6 are, so Mr. Griffin may be able to speak to that.
Well, project update, the Welcome Center. The AG, I'm sorry, the Secretary of State has the information, and they are considering our request for patent on the property that's south of the old health department. We have submitted the sketch of the proposed Welcome Center #1 and the other information we had. They really want to know how much money we intend to spend at that site. I can't answer that, because I I don't have an
The
estimate.
county has allocated $150,000 to the project. I do know that amount.
Tell them to give me a call.
That's a her.
Pay the money,
That's a her.
All right.
Ms. Carr.
Any other questions, Mr.
On the other property, I spoke with Ms. Merchant, and she's gonna submit that, deed that I prepared to the board of trustees at that next meeting.
Okay.
So other than that,
Just briefly, I'm gonna go back to the other piece. So the holdup is what on the first property?
they asked us for additional information.
The Attorney General's office,
No, the Secretary of State's
the
office.
Secretary of State's office.
The Secretary of State Department, they have a land, division, and they asked us for additional information. We provided all we could, including the sketch that had been proposed, the sketch of the proposed, Welcome Center as prepared by Mr. Mills, and some additional information that we had available, okay? But they wanna know the approximate, the estimated cost of that project as well, and I didn't have a number.
So when was this, submitted?
Last week, the week before, last week, I believe.
Monday,
No,
Tuesday, latter part of
sometime
last week?
week.
Latter part of last week?
We had been submitting stuff over the last few weeks, okay? And Mr. Smith provided us, I know, the sketch, I think early last week, and we submitted that as well.
So what's normally the turnaround time since you submitted that you normally get a response back?
I have no idea, Ms. Brooke.
Cause we've been working on this
No,
for a minute, that's why
no,
I'm
it just
asking.
got to the Secretary of State's office.
All right.
Okay,
Ms.
You know-
Holmes had a question, you had a question about something?
okay.
What is it?
I've got a motion and a second.
Have-
No,
Oh,
to
it
approve.
came in after the deadline. It'll be on next month's agenda.
Okay. Now, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
after the initial investment is made, the Welcome Center is built, what's the operating cost on an annual basis, and where does that come from?
There's been conversation with the city of Hollandale, to enter into an interlocal agreement for the county will own it, but then the town will provide staffing. It's what I've talked to the mayor about.
Okay,
Can we
kinda
get that
like
in-
Leland.
Can we get that in writing? We need
Once-
a MO, what we need, Mr.
We will
Attorney?
need an
MOU.
interlocal agreement at that point.
Memorandum of understanding.
All right, going forward, so we don't end up with a building built and it's not staffed.
Yeah, you need to do something, before, you start building it. Get
Okay.
an MOU, and, because there gonna be some additional cost. I'm assuming that the approximate cost gonna be $150,
Right.
$150,000 to build it,
That's to do the renovations.
just renovations. Then you gotta furnish it
That is correct.
and provide HVAC and other,
HVAC, all that's
That's part of
other
renovation.
Okay. Furniture and whatever else to make it.
Just furnish.
Yes.
All right, so that means that the city of Hollandale may
That
have to take that
part.
cost as well.
That
Supervisor, you ready to move? You call for the question?
Who cut
You
your
call
hair?
for the question? Yep, you call for the question.
No, there's no vote required right now.
All right, good enough. Thank you, Ms. Smith. All right. Did we miss anyone? Come on, Ms. Anderson, how you doing? All right.
Yes, good morning. We have, the plans and, estimate for Broadway, and, we're requesting that, we do the advertisement for construction, for this project.
So moved.
I got a motion and a second. Now, Mr. Anderson, this has been a long time. Well, I'm worried about it, I'm gonna speak right now, Mr. Redmond. I think I'm in District 3. You've been a long time coming with this. You have not done anything with it till now. You've been here 4 years, haven't built a mile of road. I really have
That's
concerns
not
about
true.
you and working, you have not of miles,
You want me to
Mr.
sick him?
We don't have anything on file.
That'd be
We don't have those plans on file yet. You're just presenting them. And that's been several months since we've asked you to do this. I'm deeply concerned. I cannot vote to approve it, with you all coming into the district. Now we've got new funding. We can't continue to waste time. We can't continue to waste time. If you're going to move forward and make this happen, give us a timeline now if you would.
We're gonna advertise, we're gonna receive the bids in March, and then, shortly after, start construction.
So we won't be sitting here in July with nothing done.
No, sir.
Thank you. If you, all right. I've got a motion on the floor. If there are no other questions. The motion, they want to turn in plans or explain it again, Ms. Anderson.
This is the, estimate and the plans for Broadway, from Metcalf to, the airport entrance.
It's not from Metcalf. It's from the city
Met-
limits. It's from the city limits to the
Well, look
airport
past- look
entrance.
past Metcalf
This is
Road.
just on that project?
Yes.
It's from the city limits. Let's be clear. It's from the city limits to the airport entrance.
I would think we need to hold until we make a decision on the engineer as far as this, these bids, so I would say postpone it to the next meeting.
I
We
agree.
got a motion and a second on the floor.
I got a motion and a second on the floor, and that's fine. But there's a question, there's a concern. I have one as well. You know, we've wasted a lot of time. We've been a complete disservice to the citizens of Washington County. We have not gotten anything done, and I'm extremely embarrassed by it. And you're asking us to continue on. I got a motion and a second on the floor. If there are no other questions, all in favor of allowing IMS?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. That's 3-2. Motion fails.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Let me say this to the board. You know, going forward, we've been a complete disservice to this community with this engineering service and the county engineer. What I'd like to ask this board for now is a motion to give 30 days notice to IMS of terminating their relationship with Washington County. Can I get a motion? I got a motion. Okay. Go ahead.
Recommend to go into executive session.
Well, he got a motion already.
No, I don't have a motion.
It's a motion, alleviate the motion.
I withdraw my motion. We can take it executive
We
session.
can go to executive
Can I
session.
say something about those statements? You said we did nothing for this project for Broadway.
Well, no,
until
I said
today.
you've done nothing. You have not built a mile of road in the county. Tell me where you built 1 mile of road in Washington
You
County.
said that we haven't did anything for this project until today. We turned this project in September of last year,
Why would you turn it in again, Mr. Anderson, if you did?
because it wasn't a motion to advertise. It was just a
So
statement.
September, how many months ago was that?
Yes, sir, that's the same statement you had made.
But how
that
many months ago was that?
It's since September till today.
All right, that's my point. We appreciate you. All right, we'll take it in executive session and we'll review it at that time. Thank you, sir. All right, did I miss anyone in the audience?
We got the election.
We got the issue with the election commission that we have to add to the agenda?
Yeah.
We got it.
On there?
Give me a motion
So moved.
and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? So Supervisor Ribbon, wait to see. Mr. Griffin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. We received two challenges two candidates who qualified for the position of election commissioner in Washington County. I have conducted thoroughly complete research and looked at and reviewed the petitions of each candidate. First of all, this board has a duty to ensure that these petitions comply with the law, and that is in two instances. One, the sufficiency of the petition must comply with the law, and the sufficiency pertain to some language that the Secretary of State has posted at the bottom of the petition, which says that each petition must, and they use the must, which is mandatory, must have this language. must do this. One, you must have the name of the candidate on each page. The Supreme Court says it has to be on each page. Two, you must identify the position that that person is seeking, the office. In other words, it's not enough for voters to just assume you run for election commission. You must tell them on that petition, on each individual page, that you're running for election commission. The third requirement is that the date of the election must be on there. Now, I don't know why they put that on there, but it's on there. And the Attorney General, reading the case of City of Clinton versus Smith, has said that those are mandatory. If they are not on there, then the petition itself is void. Okay? And the second requirement is that the Board of Supervisors is required to examine these petitions and conduct an investigation to determine whether or not each petition contains the signatures of at least 50 qualified electors for the position for which the candidate seeks. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time. I will share my findings with you, but my conclusions are these. Okay. When I examined the petition of Mr. Blue, the petition of Dale Blue is not. It consists of 10 pages. None of the 10 pages contain the name of the candidate, the office he seeks, nor the date of the election as required by law. In my opinion, that petition did not comply with the law. The other one that was submitted was not as gross as that one in terms of failure to comply, but there was there were deficiencies in that one as well. Mr. Ochemeri's petition. One, it consists of 7 pages, and each of the pages lacked the date of the election, which the Attorney General and the Secretary of State said are mandatory. And secondly, the petition contained only 49 valid signatures instead of 50. Now, Mr. Walker was here this morning. There were some signatures that were challenged because of what's written on there. I don't recommend under any circumstance that those names be rejected, but there were 52 valid signatures. There was 52 that were certified by the clerk, and there were 3 that were identified as not qualified electors of District 1. And I recommend the board reject those 3, okay? And
I have a question. So the circuit clerk approved them, and then you're asking us to reject them?
right, because they're not electors of that.
Oh, they're in a different district?
Yes, supervisory district, okay? And so, and based upon that reduces the number to 49. I know that Miss Thompson has suggested that it really was 49. I respectfully disagree with that because she challenged, I think, 7, and 4 of those were just merely how they signed their name. And I've been through a lot of election challenges, and the courts generally say that how you sign your name is how you sign your name. Okay, so some of them involved the printing of the name, so I don't recommend a board of supervisors, anyone. In this case, y'all are the election commission, okay? In your capacity as election commission, I don't recommend you disqualify signature just as long as these people live in the district and we can verify that they live in the district. I do not recommend that, okay?
All right.
But based upon that, it is my opinion that there are material deficiencies in both of these petitions, that of Mr. Blue as well as Mr. Ochemeri.
All right.
It needs to
Pleasure.
be, needs to be rejected.
I like to see
Both, both,
That would be my recommendation.
yes.
Attorney Griffin, I did, like, I brought to the boards, I did go to the board, to the Attorney General's office and the Secretary of State's office. They, it was highly recommended from Logan, and I can't think of the other lady from the Secretary of State's office, that we get an official Attorney General's opinion, because that opinion is 13 years old.
All right, I got a motion. Excuse
Can
me,
I
Mr.
say
Griffin.
this?
Excuse me.
Let me respond to that.
Can I say, and I just want to be clear, that came from the
Yeah.
Secretary of State's office.
May I respond to this? I
Sure.
didn't just rely on opinions of the Secretary.
But that's what you just
Let me
told
finish.
us now.
No, that's not what I told you.
All right.
I cited to you the case of City of Clinton versus Smith. That is a case of the Mississippi Supreme Court. That is black letter law in the state of Mississippi. That is what the Attorney General relies on. That's what the Secretary of State relies on. Now, an opinion of the Supreme Court of the state of Mississippi, Ms. Brooks.
Okay, I was repeating only what was told to me from the Secretary of State's office.
All right,
They
Ms. Griffin, you got
they
it.
recommended
Yeah,
strongly that we
Ms.
get another
You
opinion.
have copies for everybody, what is it?
Now, let me say this. Yeah, I have copies for everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin.
But let me just offer this before we take a vote.
Okay.
And I hear what Ms. Brooks said, you know, it concerns me that we come in board meetings and say the Secretary of State said A, the Secretary of State says.
I gave
Let
a
me
name,
finish.
Logan.
Let me finish. No, the Secretary of State says B, but we never offer any written opinions of the Secretary of State. I have written opinions of the Secretary of State, I have written opinions of the Attorney General, and I have a written opinion of the Mississippi Supreme Court. Now, that's the law until another opinion come down, or another case come down from the Mississippi Supreme Court. It's unfair to the board for us to rely on something that's not in writing from these agencies.
No, I was just telling you that they recommend that we get an opinion, because she said it's 13 years old, and she understands the different pieces going on. So I just want the board members to know, I met with Logan and another lady, she was very clear to us that we should get an Attorney General's opinion on what has transpired, because it had a lot of pieces going on to it, and she said Attorney General opinion is 13 years old. Of course, we have a new Attorney General. So I'm just putting it on out there, and we just make our decision and go from there.
All right, you've heard the attorney's recommendation on Mr. Altamary and Mr. Blue's petition. And what's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we go with the attorney's opinion on that.
That's to disqualify.
Yep.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions?
Third,
Come on,
you need to do each one on an individual basis.
each one on an individual basis.
Okay.
Let's take Mr. Blue first, since his last name starts with a B. No
So
offense.
moved.
I got a motion, and I got a second, that he be disqualified from this particular election. All in favor, show a sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
One nay. Motion carries. All right, and Mr. Altamary,
So moved.
I got a motion. I need a second. Got a motion and a second that Mr. Altamary's petition be disqualified. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I got one nay. Motion carries. Now, Mr. Griffin, you know, you stated a lot of deficiencies in these petitions for candidacy. You know, and
They're cited.
they're cited. And this is law. But what concerns me is not only those petitions are now, they're questionable and now they're disqualified. It was presented to this board, thanks to Ms. Brooks, that has happened in other elections in the past. It appears to be the norm here in Washington County to accept these petitions as if they qualify. Put candidates on the ballot who may not qualify. And we have those petitions in evidence. You turn those in.
Yes, sir.
This is a little bit more serious
That's why I
because
told
we
you.
failed to vet these petitions appropriately, not just this election. But it seems to be a pattern that's happened in Washington County. And like I explained to this board, one of the things that you should always value is your integrity. And I cannot go forward unless, now the next step of this, in my mind, Mr. Griffin, and you help me, we need some assistance because, as pointed out, this has been a standing issue in Washington County. where people have been put on the ballots.
There
We
are-
have to, do we need the Secretary of State's office, the AG's office, and hopefully with the results, we can get some relief and that take a little help from the governor's office.
Well, it starts with openness in terms of, when these petitions are executed and submitted with the appropriate clerk, in most instances, it'd be the circuit clerk, in most elections. With the limited exception, these are submitted to the chancellor clerk because they affect or pertain to the election commissioners. The public, as well as the candidates, may review those. And normally, a challenge is made by either a candidate or some member of the public who has a concern about a particular person who's seeking an office, okay? And if that doesn't happen, then they have a tendency to slip by. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That happens in almost every election, that there are petition of independent candidates, or in this case, election commissioners, that are not, and you know, I heard of one, I was asked to come in and represent a particular candidate in another county over one of these petitions. So it's not just limited to Washington County, but this is widespread throughout the state of Mississippi. And it stems from the fact that you know, our officials who get these petitions early on do not require that. This is what the Mississippi Supreme Court said, that this is a simple thing to do to make certain that the petition is sufficient. Because all you got to do, according to the Mississippi Supreme Court, is take one copy, write the information, write your name, write the office you seek, and write the date of that election on that one copy, and duplicate it for additional copies. You don't have to write it on every copy, just duplicate it. And the Supreme Court says it's inexcusable now because you have copy machines and you have the ability to duplicate it. But not only that, why is that important? Supreme Court said the purpose of ensuring that a voter know this information is to prevent a voter, when he or she signs that petition, from being misled as to who you are, number one, what office you seeking, and the date of that election, to ensure that that person wants to support you as a candidate.
I have a question,
All right.
Attorney.
Please.
So, let's talk about county races. I raced last year. So, when the candidates, independents, turn their petition in to the circuit clerk's office, whose job is to go through the process to make sure that that application meets all qualifications for that candidate to run? What department makes that decision?
Let me answer this one, because this is what the Supreme Court and the AG said. It's the duty of that candidate to ensure that those petitions are correct.
Let me rephrase that. Okay, when the application is turned in, who stumps and said this application is good, this person can run for office? Who does that?
If it's in the circuit clerk's office, the circuit clerk see it, but I'm telling you, the court said, and the Attorney General said, the circuit clerk has a mere ministerial responsibility. Now,
Right.
I know what you're driving at.
I'm just asking you the question. You answer the question yet.
Let me finish.
Okay.
There is no duty. The election commissioner may not see these petitions until the latter part of the year when it's time to fix their ballots, okay, in these elections, which is after the August primary in most elections, all right? In the meantime, that petition has been out there for months and months. It doesn't get past the circuit clerk's office. And the law says it's not to do to the circuit clerk to make certain you put your name on there.
No.
Let me finish.
I didn't ask you that question.
It is the duty of the candidates That's what the law says. It's a duty of the candidates to ensure that your petition complies with the law. And the petition itself is easy to understand because right at the bottom there, the Secretary of State has written on each petition that you generate from the Secretary of State's website, it says you must do this. You must have your name, you must have the office, and you must have the date of the election. That's right at the bottom of the petition.
Thank you, but you still did not answer my question. My question to you was, at the end of the day, who makes the decision what names goes on the ballot for the general election? Yes, you turn your application on to the circuit clerk, but who makes the decision on who names go on the ballot? Because clearly they got to go and check.
The answer to that is the election commission does.
Okay.
The election commission does.
All right.
All right.
Because you kind of missed it all through your conversation.
No, I have not.
All right.
Because you were talking about the petition.
No, I know. I actually won general.
You
Okay.
asked me who checked these petitions and ensured.
Okay, so
Then
you.
Everybody good?
came back in the end and said who makes the final decision.
So
All
it-
right,
It's the election
let me
commission.
ask one
But
more
the que-
question. If I,
So the
go ahead,
election
Ms. Brown.
commissioners don't check the ballots, and they don't check the petition. So you're telling me that it's not the job of the election commissioners not to check that ballot, that petition to make sure it's in order to go on the
Well,
ballot. Is
let
that
me-
what you're saying?
Let me cite a statute for you and tell you what the election commission do. 2315-963 provides that the election commissioners shall place names on the ballot unless there is a challenge to the candidate, okay? Because those persons have already, there's a presumption they have already met the qualification. It's up to their opponents then to challenge their qualification before the election commission. The election commission, just like this board is sitting today, after when a form is submitted to them, you can file a petition with them. But watch this. But for the fact that there were challenges, this board of supervisors would have approved all these candidates. Okay, that's the only reason. It goes to the election commission similarly when it's time for them to decide who's going to be placed on the ballot. That's the latter part of the year. All right. But with respect to the board of supervisors, the board of supervisors has to go ahead and approve that so it can be submitted to the election commission and circuit clerk so that ballot can be created. The law says they have to do that early on.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Still to my point, we've taken care of the disqualification of the two petitions and the two candidates. Mr. Griffin, it still remains that there's a process that goes on to vet each qualified electorate. Is that true? That signed the petition.
Am I gonna do that?
I'm asking that was the responsibility of the clerk's office
The
to vet
clerk
those.
is supposed to validate the name.
All right. And so something,
To err is human, Mr. President, to forgive divine.
okay. All right, but we still gotta do what we've got to do to protect the integrity of these votes and these elections in Washington County. There's an error that's been clearly pointed out. It's been clearly
That's
pointed
a
out.
matter of training and carefully vetting stuff.
All right, well, hopefully, now, we're gonna move forward and ask for assistance with this, and I don't need a vote for that. Okay? Let me be clear, board, I don't need a vote for that. But we're gonna do what we've got to do to protect the election integrity in Washington County, and this will be moved farther than this board, and we appreciate your time.
I would say this, Mr. President.
Come on with it.
I believe that elections in Washington County are conducted with the utmost integrity. I have noticed that. Washington County has fewer election challenges than any county I know. Okay, and I can tell you, I've been doing elections. I've done more election challenges than any lawyer probably in the state of Mississippi, and Washington County has fewer election challenges than any county in the state of Mississippi.
Well, I'm thankful that,
That speaks volumes
okay.
for our election commission.
Well, things can only get better.
And circuit court.
Things can only get better. Thank you for that input. But we will be moving forward and seeking advice and assistance going forward. And I'm going to advise that any citizen, first of all, I want to say thank those who want to step out and do public service. But we're going to do the best we can to protect your interest in running for public office and the process to help you work toward the office that you may seek. We've taken the vote, and how do we notify the two candidates they've been disqualified?
We can send them a letter.
Thank you. You take care of that for us?
I can do it, or you.
I will do it.
You were president.
No, we'll do it. We'll take care of it. Any other questions? Anything else on this particular matter? All right, what do? We miss anyone? All right, they're disqualified. We'll make sure they're notified. Ms. Carter, you ready?
And we have expended 38.9% of our budget through February 20th compared to a plan of 41.66%. Total receipts deposited February 1 through the 15th total $359,726.63. I am requesting board approval of our claims docket totaling $670,831.88.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That's unanimous.
Requesting travel for Veteran Service Officer Terry Gales to attend the 2024 Spring Veteran Service Training on April 8th through the 11th in Weaverville, Mississippi, with estimated cost of $894.83.
So moved.
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, we have the tax collector settlement for the month of January 2024 in the amount of $6,133,330.19. Need approval to accept.
So moved.
You got a
To
motion?
accept.
And I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Mr. Redmond, Mr. Benson. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. That's unanimous. Ms. Holmes.
I have a requisition from this council for approval for payment for Greenwood Printing Center, $2,350, and it's for 5 carton of 3-part carbonless straight paper.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Thank you, Jerry. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That's unanimous. Ms. Holmes.
Okay, we also have a letter from Corey Holmes, resigning from the Sportsplex Board, just for acceptance.
All right, motion, Tommy?
So moved.
Tommy moves to accept. I got a second, Supervisor Redmond. Motion is to accept. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So Supervisor Gordon, wait in your seat.
I have from the tax assessor's office, 2 properties, that are in the name of Washington County Board of Supervisors that need to be exempt for 2022 and 2023.
Motion?
So moved.
And a second. Thank you, Supervisor Redmond.
Exempt from taxes. It's our property.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. So Supervisor Gordon still away.
Also have property of Powerhouse Deliverance Temple, should be exempt for 2023, should be exempt, the building that they are using is being used as a church.
What's the address? Where is that?
I don't know, there's a parcel number on here, there's no address.
All right, board, we need to do further, it's pleasure of the board, but, just taking, that's from the tax assessor himself, right?
Yes.
Approval pending the address.
Now, we can always pull it back.
Okay.
Now, tell me what that says, exemption for what year?
2023.
That's last year. So they still owe taxes for last year, right? They owe taxes now.
No, they don't.
But why are they asking to be exempt now? What's going on?
They probably sent them a notice.
They have the property should be exempt, the building is being used as a church.
But who does the property belong to?
Powerhouse Deliverance
But
Temple.
they saying they should be exempt.
So why they not being exempt?
That's a good question.
That's why they asking now.
Have we taken a vote on it?
Well,
Huh?
what I'm saying is,
I'm gonna change mine to extension, 'cause I don't understand what's
All
going
right.
on.
all right, my concern is, why now? And this is 2023, those taxes are due this year, now. You can give them an exemption going forward, gives you time to actually evaluate and assess, you can pull it back later. But 2023 is, taxes are due now. Are you waiving taxes? Are you giving them an exemption for 2023? There's a church asking to be exempt from the tax rolls for 2023. What's the name of the church?
Powerhouse Deliverance.
Powerhouse Deliverance. You know, and we got a motion and a second on the floor. Any input? Because I'm finna move this motion down the road, Mr. Come on.
I'd like to hear from Mark on that. I walk in the middle ways of the conversation, so I abstain if we're taking a vote, but I think that we need to know a little bit more about it. Talk about the 23 taxes. I'm like you moving forward, I don't know if you can give those 23. I don't know. I'd like for the tax assessor to be here before I take a vote on it.
All right, I got a motion and a second, to go ahead. What's the pleasure of the board?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Before you vote?
can't hear you.
Did they apply timely last year?
I'm saying we need the tax collector here, or assessor to answer those questions.
Because I think you need to at least establish when they acquired the property and whether this was done by mistake or not.
What we need to do with that particular request? We can,
I think you probably need to postpone considerations of it until you get additional information from the tax assessor.
can I get a rescission or somebody to accept an amendment to the motion?
I'll take it.
All right, we got an amendment to the motion. We want to postpone. We got a second. All in favor, show by the postponement, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
We also have a Jackie Richardson, and the reason for a change was the cabana was demoed, but the value was removed from the mobile home roll
Say that again.
for 2023.
For 2023.
So they didn't remove the cabana from the property.
I think on anything when it comes to the tax, I think we just need to put the tax collector to be assessor. Okay.
How you doing, Ms. Williams?
How y'all doing?
Need you to help us out if you would.
Okay.
What you got on top right there?
Jackie Richardson, the field guys went out and picked up a cabana, and that's like with the mobile homes, they add like a porch or something, so it was picked up on the wrong one. So we have to correct Miss Richardson's,
So it was our mistake, it was.
yes,
okay.
it was, yeah, yeah.
All right, give me a motion, give me a motion.
So moved.
And a second. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Motion carries. What's the next one, Ms. Williams?
Okay, the next one is Powerhouse Deliverance Temple Church in Hollandale. We have to go out and make sure that it's actually being used as a church. So in our findings that it was, after sending Lawrence, the field appraiser, out there, this actually is being used at a church. So we're asking to exempt it for 2023.
When did y'all go out?
Well, he went out last year, you know, like at the end of the year, when the person called about, they had received a tax statement. The person that, when we get a deed to come through, the actual person that's working the deed, because we had so much a discrepancy about certain properties being used as a church, so I called the circuit clerk's office, the city clerk's office in Hollandale, and they informed me that it was being used for a church, and then we sent Lawrence out to verify that it's being used for a church.
Okay, and your recommendation is to?
To exempt it for
And again-
2023, the corrected tax statement, because it should have been, had an exempt code on there.
Did they notify y'all in time, though, it was just late getting out?
Mm,
Check?
yeah, after the fact of the tax statements going out.
What's the pleasure?
Well, they messed it, they used it for a church.
Ms.
Yeah.
Williams? input, Mr. Green? Got a motion? I need a second. Thank you, Benson. All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed?
One abstention.
Motion carries. I got one abstention. Ms. Brooks, the extension, abstention. All right, we appreciate you here.
Okay.
Was that it? All right. What else you got?
I was asked to figure out the amount or the cost for the employees who work during the ice storm. That total amount is $37,632.89. And it's based off of what y'all paid last year for those who worked and everyone else was off that entire week.
Okay. Pleasure?
So move.
I'm sorry, what are we trying to accomplish here?
Pay the people that work during ice storm.
We had her to go out and pull the information together after payroll was run as to how many people would be impacted, or how many people worked during the recent weather event.
So they didn't get paid?
No, they got paid. We just
But they
making a
worked.
one-time
They work and
adjustment.
everybody else stayed at home.
We're making a one-time adjustment for those who worked.
And the ones that stayed at home.
No, we're not giving anything to the ones that
I
stayed.
know, that's what I'm saying. We're giving it to the people that work compared to the ones who stayed at home during the ice.
How are we doing that, Mr. Attorney?
One-time pay adjustment.
How do we do that?
Same we did last time.
They've already performed the work, correct?
Yes.
No, we're paying them extra.
We're making a one-time pay adjustment. We're not.
We did the same thing during the last time.
Mr. Attorney.
So they got, that when they worked during their regular hours and got paid, but we're just doing it,
We did it last time.
We did a policy on that, I can't.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
But we called it emergency pay during the policy.
Well, this was an emergency circle.
But we called it a pay adjustment. We did.
Whatever's in the, I recommend we could.
Temporary pay adjustment because you
It's
couldn't call
temporary.
it hazard pay.
No, we don't call it hazard, but we developed a policy that would allow us to do it going forward.
Yes. I recommend that you, pay in conformity with the policy.
Okay. All right. And where is this coming from? What's pleasure? I got a motion.
got a motion and a second.
I got a motion and a second. What's pleasure? All in favor, show by sign up. Sign up, aye. Any opposed?
one extension, I'm just not.
I got one
sure
abstention.
We're clear on
All right. Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Carter?
The Conventions and Visitors Bureau, their board terms have expired yesterday. We have a meeting, I wanna say this week coming up, so that's for District 3, 4, 5, and 1.
All right.
And all of those were on their second term.
They finished their second term.
That's
And
all for
explain to the board what that means. Explain to the board what that means after 2 terms.
You
Ms.
gotta
Carter.
reappoint somebody.
You have to appoint someone else.
They cannot serve again.
They can't.
How can that be all?
Can they skip a term? Let's say they've been there before and then they wait and then can they come back? I'm just asking.
You
I got
can
somebody calling
select,
about this.
you can select, I don't know, I have to look at the language. I think you're right, you can.
Somebody
But,
saw the notes so I can make the right decision.
Whoever, Thelma Johnson, they're
Lee.
on their first term.
What about, mine?
That's,
Everybody on their second term.
Who-
Everybody else.
mine's,
Camille.
No, Camille resigned.
She gone.
And
Also,
Parker,
She
yeah,
gone.
Parker, we
The
voted
Conventions
Parker
and
in.
Visitors Bureau?
He
yeah,
just
Tommy,
filled
you-
in for
Tommy, you,
Camille.
Ms. Johnson.
So he's on his first term. Cause yeah, Camille resigned, I think she moved, a while back, and we done Parker English. It's in our minutes.
So the term is 2 years.
Yep. They
I
can
just
only
found
serve
it out.
2 consecutive terms.
So 4 years total.
Yep.
But Parker hadn't even been a year yet,
But he was filling out a term. That's what he did.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was completing a term.
so I can reappoint him.
Yes.
Now that I don't-
Yes, the answer is yes.
Check into that for me, please.
The answer is yes. It's yes.
But they just said, I thought you said you can't. do
No,
Different person.
Parker is a different person.
Yeah, that's right.
that. How long did he?
He
how
finna
long
start
did
his-
He's not
serve?
been here, he hadn't been there a year even.
Oh, okay. Oh, he just did it like a half a term.
Yeah.
But now
Oh,
he's
half a
finna
year.
start his own term with the
Yeah,
league's
yeah.
appointment.
Yeah, that's right.
So he got 2 years plus an additional. All right. All right, so we
you
need
need
to,
to speak prepared next,
Yeah.
need to make sure he's willing to still serve.
And I'll update y'all appointments next, for the next meeting.
yeah, shoot it to us on email so we can look at it and review it. Anything else, Ms. Carter?
That's it.
All right, Ms. Holmes, you have anything for us today? Ms. Holmes, you have anything for us today? You good? What you got?
Bonds for approval.
All right, we got bonds for approval. Who we have?
Randy Sharon Washington. Willie Levance Lewis.
We need them one at a time. We need them one at a time. Can you call them out?
Randy Sharon Washington.
Okay.
Law enforcement.
Okay.
Willie Lance Lewis, Park Commissioner. Kaylee Brianna Montgomery, Deputy Tax Assessor.
That all over?
So moved to approve, Bond.
I need a second. I got a motion and a second. If there are no questions, all in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? A motion carries.
And the only other thing I have is copy document.
Who?
Copy document.
We're gonna copy all the reports into the minutes. We'll do that. We'll take care of that. That's it, Ms. Holmes.
Accept report.
All right, a motion, I will. Sheriff Department,
Good morning.
morning.
We were trying to
I forgot about that.
check the status on the building out on Harvey Street. I know that the agreement was signed, board president and, Ms. Hansell's signature, and I think that the guy who was trying to do the work signed it as well, so, I mean, what do we need to look for them getting started?
I don't have,
Is that one, I thought we approved all that, and that was something that, Jeremy actually requested those, then I would
say
call Jeremy and
So
tell him
do
to call
you
and see
know
when
not
I
in
can
the
start.
Yeah,
I mean, this is
She
approved.
not in district.
Yeah.
An immediate start.
She not in district. And she
Okay.
not in
let me follow and find out what's going on with. We'll talk. I'll take care of it.
Okay, now, my second thing was that I know Mr. Supervisor Jerry Redmond said that he was going to, help us out with that building with any funds that he had.
Right, he's committed to that.
Well, I mean, I've been hearing him commit a lot of money, so we're trying to make sure that we're not left out, or was there an amount given that he was gonna help us with?
Did y'all have an amount?
Well, yeah, I mean,
What's that, much as we
Did you
the
say?
amount that I heard might not be the amount that it was $250,000. I thought he said he was gonna.
So you
donate-
need at
give
least
us-
300,000 to be comfortable.
Well, you all had already given us 50.
I don't know,
Correct.
whatever I got, y'all got.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna need a minimum of 300.
Okay.
Take the rest of it for
District 3? Okay, Mr. Redmond, thank you. Sheriff, that is.
All right,
That's up there in daycare.
all right. When y'all can, let, what? Y'all need to figure it out with the design work.
Yeah, do we need to get with, the engineer?
No. Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk.
Well, Mr. President, let me try to see can we do that, because we move so much, we move so much in and out of town. We pay money for training. And if we had our own training facility here, they would come to us.
All right then.
And it'd be less money that it costs us.
Okay.
And it's a need to have that training up there for our officers.
All right. What's that?
That's it for me, and that's it for the sheriff. But we appreciate it, and, we'll be getting together to try to get a, inspection at the jail, hopefully next month.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? We appreciate you. All right. If there's nothing else, we're gonna go, we don't have an executive session. I need to like to add executive session to the agenda to discuss engineering services. Need a second? All in favor, show by sign of aye. Any opposed? All right, Lee, you're good? We're going around.
I go to 10, I just want to share that with you with the.
This is, go ahead, this is the end.
Huh? Can I go ahead now?
Yeah.
Oh, I told y'all last, meeting about, we was talking about the long boom, the bulldozer, and the low boy. And it was, I think 65,000 on the long boom. The bulldozer was 200, but we sent Mark and Arthur out there to look at all the equipment, to see if it fits our needs. They said the bulldozer is way too big. They told you, just way too big. It's like for a forestry bulldozer, and we can get one cheaper, smaller, and what we need. The only thing they did say with the low boy was $7,500, but they said a truck. They had a truck with that, and I asked what would they, pull the low board is $16,000. So you're looking at 65, 75, 76, about $85,000 for everything, or a little better than that for everything. That's a low board truck and the long boom. So I'm assuming, and I guess I'm asking the attorney this, if that's what we want to move forward with, do they need to send us over something, what they're selling? How do we handle the purchase of that from the Drainage Commission?
Well, is that just an offer they're making?
Well, where they come up with those numbers, they were gonna auction those off, and the auction was actually buying them from them to re-auction, and that was their offer on it. The auction was that offer on it. So they were just taking basically what the auction guaranteed them on that price day, so.
So they want from the county what they would get.
Well, what the auction would give, not what they would sell at the auction for, but what the auction itself would buy. And of course, the auction would put money on it to make more. This is what the auction guaranteed, the low bottom that they would get.
And if the board find in its minutes that the price is, the fair market value of that property, then you can acquire from another government entity.
Okay, we have to get an appraisal on it or
Yes, we
something?
get our people that do that to check on it just to make sure, and maybe by next meeting have those numbers together.
Are they gonna hold it that long?
I'm sure they will.
Well, we can do it pending, valid appraisal, or what you wanna call it.
You can just have somebody do an estimate of the value, okay?
Salih?
It's 88,500 total on everything. That's for the 3 pieces of equipment. But yeah, we can get, Arthur and them know more about that, Mark, and they can look and see what it costs if we, obviously. We can probably have it by next meeting.
Okay. That's it, Lee?
That's all I have.
Tommy, you good?
Bring you up to date on that.
Ms. Brooks?
No, I'm not.
Oh, come on, Tom.
I wanna say something to this board about getting stuck in this jabberish. That's what I call it, jabberish. We got to clean this up, y'all, once and for all. Now, we are getting painted as a board who does nothing and always arguing. Let's clean that up.
Okay,
That's all I got to say. Let's clean it up.
all right. I'll commit to it. Ms. Brooks?
Yes, this, of course, we know February is Black History Month, but also in this month, we are celebrating, Teen Dating Violence Month awareness, and believe it or not, teen violence on a whole nother level compared to 20 years ago. We hear about, like we just had a situation where this young teenager just got killed at her house. So I think we need to really reach out to our young people, constantly talk to them, know what's going on with them in their dating life, meaning parents, I think they need to have strong access to their children's cell phone, know what's going on with their lives, because so much is going on that that kids are just going through so much, and teen dating, we just have to constantly talk to our children and see what's in their heads, because not only it just violence, these kids are dying now in relationships. And also the month of February is American Heart Month. Of course, we know how important it is with our heart. It keeps us living. I think we need to always consider about what we are taking into our bodies, eating more healthier, getting some form of exercise. And also, I'm talking to men, more so black men, could hear me on Facebook. We need to ensure that we go to the doctors. Too many opportunities available to us that we don't go to. A lot of black men that don't go to the doctor. There's funding available. Like Delta Health Center, they have a program available. It's a sliding fee scale. Anybody who don't have health insurance, let's take advantage of it. Delta Health Center has 2 locations in Greenville, one in Leland and one in Hollandale. So really, we don't have an excuse on why we don't go to the doctor. We most definitely need, and women, we all need to know our numbers, because early prevention is the key on anything. If we found out early, we can address the issue and we can live a longer and healthy life.
Ms. Ribbon.
I'm buying me a funeral home.
Okay. Ms. Carter, help me if I'm wrong. But on Wednesday, the 21st, we have the Federal Resource Meeting at the Valley. Help me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Federal Resource Meeting, something put on, by the congressman, that starts at 10 a.m. We'll also have a meeting with Judge Richards, Lee, tomorrow. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. Meeting at the Valley. Please, I'm gonna go to the Valley tomorrow for that.
Mr. President, and one other thing. Oh. No. On Saturday, I did attend, I went to Birmingham to the soccer droning. I was so amazed, y'all, and something I'm really gonna make sure we push forward to. What I saw teenagers from high schools, from other states. You saw them putting a drone together themselves, okay? Not buying a drone, they're putting it together. They understood the dynamics of it, and of course, the droning program, they have a soccer field. You're gonna have 5 lined on one side and 5 lined on the other side, and they got their drones, and they're going against who can get their drone through the soccer field. So I'm really excited about this. When we get ours up in Washington County, we will be the first soccer droning program in the state of Mississippi. And I think we can also help really push that with STEM. I'm gonna follow up with Judge Johnson to let her know exactly what takes place, because she is interested in it. I got pictures for her, but I think this can be a new avenue where we can really work with our children that's in detention center, and give them some new avenues and pathways that they can get involved, and also just our children in general, because I do want to get one in Leland as well and one in Greenville, all through the county, because I just think that's a new avenue to get our kids involved in something that's really big in California that we're not doing here in Mississippi.
We are doing it in Hollandale now. Our kids are flying on in Hollandale right now.
Wonderful.
So y'all got to wake up.
It ain't over, Jerry. We still got
We got executive session.
executive session. Sit down.
I thought we were done.
Are we good?
When
Any
we come in
questions?
executive session?
Any questions?
Is that meeting tomorrow here?
Which,
Meeting tomorrow.
I don't know where it's gonna be. Where is that meeting gonna be at 10 a.m. in the judge's chamber?
Judges, judges court.
Courtroom.
Courtroom down the hall. Chamber court.
That's public meeting, isn't it?
No, board members can attend, but he has pulled together a group he wants to talk about, mental health.
But it's a public meeting. He in a public building.
There's a public meeting per
Okay.
se, but,
Okay.
you
That's up
bring
to him.
too many people in there, it creates too much confusion.
He ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna say anything. Okay, we do have an executive session that we're going to.
I got a question. Now, the 2 meetings you said, we got that, and what's the other meeting you got with the congressman? What is that?
Oh, no, the Federal Resource Meeting at the Valley. It's tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
You ain't got to be there, you a Republican, right?
Oh, Lord.
I'm
All right,
whatever-
don't know.
if you
Now,
call
what
me
did you
when I
just
can
ask us?
join.
What did he just ask us to do?
I'm serious.
I
What did you just-
serve on Mississippi's Democratic Executive
Tell me.
Committee. I serve on
Tell me.
Washington County Democratic
I didn't know.
Tell
Executive
me.
Committee.
I wasn't
I
trying to-
think maybe you've been
Tell
having
me.
too
I
many
wasn't trying to-
conversations with people
Tell
who's
me.
not too fond of me. You
Tell
just
me.
you just made a comment. Just think about what you just said, Pastor.
Okay.
Tell him what he said. Don't start no stuff. He said something. I heard him. I'm committed to it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. we're
I've
gon-
been a delegate for the state of Mississippi at the DNC for the last 16 years.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're going to executives. But you keep pointing, Ms. On. What's that? All right,
I'm
we got.
just friends with everybody.
Yes,
I can
ma'am.
talk to everybody.
Cut him
I'm
off
not
in a
caught
minute.
up on a party.
I need a motion to go ahead and adopt all the reports into the minutes.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We're going to executive session right now to discuss contract negotiations / employment. I need a motion to go in executive session.
So
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, show by sign of aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Yeah, we in executive session. You know, oh, you good, Ms. Bernadine? All right. No, it's been bothering me for a while, and it's just come to a head. We've basically done, as a board, a disservice to this county by keeping our current county engineer and engineering services on board. Nothing's been done. No true infrastructure work has been done. They can't claim the bridges that the road department built. The one bridge, the 1.5 bridges, you know, the one in Leland, you can't even get 2 vehicles across it at the same time.
We can, don't say
You
that,
know,
that's not
it's-
accurate.
It's a go and drive for yourself, board members.
Well, go and drive, but
and
2
take a
cars
look.
do cross.
But there are certain guidelines under state aid that you have to go by when you use state funds, but that was $1 million of Washington County money. So they didn't have to go by these stringent restrictions. There has not been 1 mile of road built in 4 years in Washington County. That's not making a negative, that's fact. Recognize what the facts are. Nothing's happened. Yeah, we had a conversation back 6 months ago in September. 6 months ago. That's half a year. And now you want to present some information. No. 4 years is enough. I'm not in a position to continue depriving the citizens of Washington County. The lack of a qualified engineering service. Now, I don't owe them anything. They don't pay me, they don't buy nothing for me. I have nothing personal against them. This is just business. Now, look at the fact, I'm gonna finish in just a second, I'm gonna give you the floor.
Are you insinuating that they give people stuff?
No, I'm not.
But, I mean, why did you make
I
that
only talk
comment?
about me.
Oh, okay, I
I didn't do that.
just wondered what you was going
I'm
on.
talking about me. But I cannot continue down this path. I'm only one vote. But I really, don't want them in my district because of the type of work.
You've
I've
said
seen
that numerous
and
times.
the lack
man.
of work. It's time for us to move on and find a new engineering service that's going to help us and make this county move forward and stop having these bad roads, bad bridges, Lee.
I agree that, and I just, come at you in